So one thing I'm doing here is I'm gonna build like a bunch of little projects, and before I do any of that, I like to stain all my boards first. That way at the end I'm not trying to shove stain in all these little nooks and crannies. Going to run just a 220. This right here is going to be a newer stain I've never tried before. This is called Sedona Red, and that is this right here, Sedona Red by Minwax. Sedona! Alright, so one of the next items I'm going to be selling at this vendor sale is these little wine racks. Now these are kind of cool. They hold 2 little wine glasses. Again, a super simple build, super easy to stuff, super easy stuff to build. So what we're gonna need too is, these are 1x4 standard pine. You're gonna need your bottom board at 1 foot wide, your top board at 11.5, and then your upright board at 10 inches tall. Take our 12-inch piece, we're gonna come across 6 inches, strike a line right at 6 across the middle here, and that's going to give us our dead center on this board. We're going to go and drill 2 holes right here. We're going to take our 10-inch piece right here, throw a little bit of glue on this end, and then line it right up. A screw in on the back of this board. We're going to get our first screw started, and then go ahead and line this up parallel. Go ahead and send her home. Double check it, nice and square right there. We just put 1 screw in there. We're going to put our second screw in right here. Now we got the stand made. All we gotta do is this top piece. So on this top piece, what we're gonna do, 11.5, right? We're gonna go over 2.5 inches. 1x4s are actually 3.5 wide. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over 1 3/4 inches. From the line coming in here, we're gonna go, we have dead center straight across. We're gonna go 1/4 inch each way. So this is a 1/2 inch wide. So I'm going to go from this line here, 1/4 inch this way, and from this line here again, 1/4 inch this way. Those lines on here, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. 6 lines on this board, right? 2 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 3/4. And over here it's going to be 9 3/4, 9 inches, 9 1/4. So we're going to remove this section right here between the lines, and same thing over here, we're going to remove this section. Is drill out this hole at 3/4 inch. I'm going to take a 3/4 inch bit and drill this hole out, and then we'll go ahead and remove these 2 sections right here. So one thing you want to make sure to do is put a piece of stock wood below this. That way you have something to drill into and you're not drilling into your plate down here. But we're going to take and line up the center of that bit. So what I'm going to do is, our dead center is right there in that circle, and I'm going to line this bit up with that dead center. Just send it through. The step is to remove this chunk and this chunk. I want these glasses to be able to sit pretty firmly in there, so I'm actually going to step up to a 7/8 bit right here, and I'm just going to extend, I'm going to go down about 1/8 of an inch just to give a little bit more room for the glass to sit in. And again, we stepped it in just like that, about 1/8 of an inch on each of these 2 holes. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow that glass to sink in just a little bit further and give it a little bit more stability. What I'm going to do here is actually fill in these empty spots with stain, since we just made those cuts. A good way to do that, to get into these little nooks and crannies here, is I just use a little paintbrush, and that's going to let you fill in those little gaps there and all the way around. Little gaps filled in too. Go ahead and wipe your excess off as best you can. So we got those stain filled in, and we actually have to do the board ends as well. Stain up our board ends. Now for attaching this top piece, right, we struck our line right here. What I'm gonna do is drill 2 holes through each of through this line, and we'll get 2 screws started. I'm gonna put some glue right up here on the top, and just like that, you're done. Your wine glass holder is ready. So you just slide these right in, set them right down. Pretty simple, super easy thing to build. I'm excited to see how well these do at the sale as well. I think for all this stuff I'm building, I'm actually gonna go get like an indoor seal, put a little glossy coat on all of these just to give it a little bit of added protection. And again, customers just really love glossy products. The glossier the better, I say. So there we go. Got our wine racks here, and we'll see what we build next.